Stop what you're doing. Right now, I'm about to show you why 95% of people will never become undeniable, and more importantly, how you can join the 5% who do. You know that person who walks into any situation and immediately commands attention. Not because they're loud or flashy, but because there's something magnetic about their presence. They're undeniable. You think they were born that way. You think they have some secret advantage you don't. You're dead wrong. Most people are completely forgettable. They blend into the background. They make weak handshakes, give generic answers, and disappear from conversations the moment they leave the room. They're deniable, replaceable, invisible. They think this is just how things are. They've accepted mediocrity as their permanent address. But you're here watching this, which means you refuse to accept that fate. Good. Because I'm about to show you exactly how to become so valuable, so skilled, so reliable that people can't ignore you anymore. Being undeniable starts with one core principle: extreme ownership. Not the watered-down version where you kinda take responsibility when things go right. I'm talking about owning everything that happens in your sphere of influence. When your project fails, you don't blame the team, the timeline, or the resources. You ask, what could I have done differently to ensure success? When someone on your team drops the ball, you don't throw them under the bus. You ask, how did I fail to set them up for success? You have to develop the mindset that separates leaders from followers. The undeniable person never says, that's not my job. They see a problem and they solve it. They see a gap and they fill it. They see chaos and they bring order. But you have to start small. Own your morning routine. Own your workspace. Own your commitments to yourself. Because if you can't own the small stuff, you'll never own the big stuff. Now let's talk about what makes someone professionally undeniable. Competence stacking. Most people try to be decent at everything. That's a recipe for being forgettable at everything. Undeniable people stack competencies strategically. They become world-class at one core skill, then they add complementary skills that multiply their value exponentially. Let's say you're great at data analysis. That's valuable. But what if you also become great at presenting that data in compelling ways? Now you're not just the numbers guy. You're the guy who turns numbers into actionable insights. Add negotiation skills. Now you can sell those insights. Add leadership skills. Now you can implement those insights through teams. Every skill doesn't just add to your value, it literally multiplies it. To become a real deal, you have to go deeper than everyone else is willing to go. While others learn the basics and move on, you master the fundamentals so thoroughly that you can innovate on top of them. You become the person others come to when they need real expertise, not Google-level knowledge. Everyone can Google. Everyone can use ChatGPT. The most underrated superpower in the modern world is extreme reliability. In a world where people flake, make excuses, and underdeliver, being consistently reliable is like having a superpower, not the basic reliability. You have to become so consistently excellent that people start building their plans around your involvement. This means when you say you'll deliver something by Tuesday at 3 p.m., it's there Tuesday at 2:45 p.m. every single time. This means when you commit to showing up, you're there 15 minutes early, prepared and ready to add value. This means your word becomes currency. People invest in you because they know you'll deliver returns. I've seen mediocre talent beat superior talent simply because they could be counted on. Companies would rather work with the reliable B+ player than the unreliable A+ player every single time, just because reliability eliminates risk. And in a world full of uncertainty, people pay premium prices for certainty. But reliability isn't just about external commitments. It's about internal consistency. When you tell yourself you're going to work out at 6 a.m., you work out at 6 a.m. When you commit to reading 20 pages, you read 20 pages. Every kept promise to yourself builds unshakable self-trust, and self-trust is the foundation of all confidence. Being undeniable isn't enough if nobody knows about it. You need strategic visibility. Make sure your value is seen by the right people at the right times. Document your wins. not for ego, but for evidence. When you solve a problem, don't just solve it silently. Communicate the process, the challenge, and the outcome. Help others learn from your approach. When you deliver results, don't assume people notice. Make your contributions visible without being obnoxious about it. The goal isn't to take credit from others. It's to make sure your contributions don't get lost in the noise. Smart people create systems for visibility. They volunteer for high-visibility projects. They speak at meetings. They send strategic updates that showcase their thinking process. They become known not just for doing good work, but for thinking strategically about problems. Most people think networking is about what others can do for them. Undeniable people flip this. They focus on what they can do for others. They become the person who connects people, shares opportunities, and adds value to every interaction. But of course, you can't give what you don't have. If you want to add value to powerful people, you need to have something valuable to offer. This circles back to competence stacking and extreme reliability. When you're genuinely valuable, networking becomes easy because you're not asking for favors, you're offering solutions. The undeniable person becomes a hub in their network. People bring opportunities to them because they know they can either handle it themselves or connect it to someone who can. Let's address the elephant in the room: mental toughness. Being undeniable requires you to perform when you don't feel like performing, to show up when you'd rather hide, to push forward when everything in you wants to quit. You don't have to suppress your emotions or pretend to be a robot. No, you have to developing the ability to act independent of your emotional state. You feel anxious about the big presentation? You do it anyway, and you do it well. You feel unmotivated to work on your skill development? You do it anyway because you know motivation is unreliable, but discipline is everything. You feel like giving up after a setback? You use it as fuel to come back stronger. Mental toughness is built through micro-victories. Every time you do what you said you'd do, especially when you don't want to do it, you're making deposits in your mental toughness account. The undeniable person doesn't just follow best practices, he creates them. While others copy what worked yesterday, undeniable people are figuring out what will work tomorrow. They ask better questions. Instead of, how do I do this job well? They ask, how can this job be done better? They see inefficiencies others ignore. They spot opportunities others miss. They solve problems others don't even realize exist yet. This doesn't mean reinventing everything. It means constantly looking for small improvements that compound into big advantages. Knowledge without execution is just entertainment. First, pick one area where you're going to become undeniable over the next 90 days, not 3 areas. 1. Second, identify the 3 core competencies you need to stack in that area. Map out your learning path. Third, set up systems for extreme reliability. Track your commitments and your completion rate. Aim for 100%. Fourth, create your visibility strategy. How will people discover your value? Plan it. Fifth, start today, not tomorrow, not Monday, today. Let me be crystal clear about something. This path will test you. It's going to suck. There will be moments when being average seems easier, when blending in feels safer, when you question if the effort is worth it. Those moments are the filter. They separate those who become undeniable from those who stay ordinary. The person you're becoming doesn't get created in the easy moments. They get forged in the difficult ones. I'm going to leave you with this. 6 months from now, you're going to be in one of 2 places. You're either going to be the person people can't ignore, can't replace, and can't deny, or you're going to be exactly where you are right now, wondering what could have been. The difference isn't talent. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's choice. The choice to own everything in your sphere. The choice to stack competencies relentlessly. The choice to be so reliable that people build their plans around you. The choice to become undeniable. Stop making excuses for why you're not there yet. Start making moves toward who you're becoming. The world needs what you have to offer. but only if you develop it to a level that can't be ignored. Now stop watching and start building. Become undeniable. If this video helped you, hit subscribe for more no-nonsense content on becoming the man you're meant to be. Comment below and tell me which competency you're stacking first. I read every single one.